Good day, everyone. So, nakatapos na ta sa directional terms, applied anatomy. So, let's proceed sa isa ka system, one of the important systems sa animal. Sa isa ka animal is the skeletal system. So, by the name itself, skeletal, ang masulod sa aton utok is skeleton, which pertains to the bones or the set of bones of an animal. So, amo gina siya ang aton nga itok subong sa sininga day. Okay, so what are the functions of the bones? Of course, the skeletal system is composed of the group or the set of bones. So anong function nila? Number one is protection of vital organs. So for example, the heart, just like I said in my previous video. So the heart is protected by the rib cage and especially ang main gid mismo is ang sternum. So ang rib cage, ang main organ na protect nila is the lungs. And then one example is the skull. Take note, the skull is not composed of one bone, it comprised of group of bones which protects the brain. So amo na siya ang example. Number two, gives rigidity and form to the body. Of course, what will happen to our body without the bones? Basig lunay na ta or layat or mga lantang gulay. So salamat ta nga may skeletal system ang isa ka animal or kita kay at least makatindog pa ta at least. For locomotion, of course, nga we know nga ang bones isa mismo ang involved sa pag-move sa aton lawas. Act as levers, especially mag-lift ang isa ka animal, or of course mabalaan man na naton, especially in coordination with muscles, they can produce action, and one of that action is as levers. So amo na siya ang function niya. Storage of minerals, especially calcium. So take note that the bones is comprised or predominantly comprised of calcium. Kay dira mismo gina-store sa aton lawas ang calcium. So that is why balaan natin sa mga old animals or sa old humans, kung calcium deficient gani sila, makabantay ka mo nga medyo crooked or medyo ng ilang mga bones, mga dili na gahi or sa brittle na. Yes, brittle ang right term. And then site of blood formation. Take note that the heart is not the site of blood formation. Ang heart is only the one responsible for pumping blood throughout the body. Pero ang site of blood formation, the RBC, the white blood cells, and other essential blood vessels is formed in the bone itself, especially on the bone marrow. So this is the typical structure of a long bone. So take note nga it is divided into regions like this one. The proximal and the distal part is what we call the epiphysis. And then the mid part is the diaphysis. And the boundary between the epiphysis and the diaphysis is what we term as metaphysis. So follow. Kita nyo mga sa video. And then, wait lang ha, para mas appreciate natin. Okay. Okay, kita naman yung color red. So, take note this one, especially arang lami kayo ng mga bulalo. So, actually that comprises of the bone marrow. And it is located here at the center. So, muna sa medullary cavity. And then, daghan kayo mga subparts, the endosteum, which is hindi lang na-consiling i-further discuss. Kay we're just talking about the basic anatomy, pero kung detail na mismo, dara na kita mag-discuss regarding sina. So, classification of bones according to gross appearance. So, number one is long bone, just like I mentioned kanina. Example is femur, tibia, and fibula. So, take note, the femur is the largest bone. If that statement is true in humans, I don't know lang sa ibang animal species kay, of course, may harap na ginatawag na comparative anatomy, and then different ang ilang structure size compared sa other bones, tibia and fibula. Next is the short bones, the carpus and the tarsus, ang aton sa mga kamot. Flat bones, the scapula, especially ang common name na is the shoulder blade, yes. Sesamoid bones, the patella. Take note that patella is the largest sesamoid bone. So what are these sesamoid bones? Actually, ang mga sesamoid, kung saan pa mga floating bones ni siya, wala ni siya ga-attach sa mga or wala ni siya attachment sa other bones like cartilage ni ang bound sa ila or nakaputo sa ila. Number one, that is patella. And then irregular bone. So by the name itself, irregular murag di magkadama og dagway. So it amo na siya. An example is bones of the vertebral column, the cervical, the thoracic, the lumbar, the coccygeal, and the sacral. So later niyo ma-appreciate yun lang na later. So okay. Okay, let's proceed sa regions of the skeletal system. They are divided into two parts, the axial and the appendicular skeleton. So let's proceed first sa axial skeleton. Take note that the axial skeleton or axial skeleton comprises the skull and the vertebral column and the ribs. So the cranial part of the skull, amo ni siya mga set of bones. Just like I said again, the skull is not comprised of one bone, but comprised by a set of bones. Take note ganyo. Divided into two parts, the cranial part and the facial part. So next is the vertebra, ang compose or comprise spinal column. And then the ribs, ang gaputo sa aton lungs. And then the sternum, arang sa front naton or sa front sa animal or located ventrally sa animal, nag-protect or primarily protects direct sa heart. So ano siya. And take the sternum is comprised of set of bones also, the sternebrae, the manubrium, and the xiphoid process. Okay. So this is the skull as you can see. Gusto ko lang ma-emphasize diri nga ang the lateral view and the dorsal view of the skull. So makita ninyo nga different gid mismo ang or it comprises of different types of bones. Not necessarily one bone. So this is the vertebral. Wait lang ha, magpakita ko dali sa picture. Yes, this is the typical structure of a vertebra. So this one is typical vertebra. This is an example of lumbar vertebra. So ma-observe ninyo kay taas kayo ang iyang dire. And then this is an example of thoracic vertebra. Take note, taas kayo yung spinous process, whereas sa lumbar vertebra, taas ang iyang transverse process. And this is the example of cervical vertebra. So take note, cervical vertebra is the bones that comprises the neck. And then the thoracic vertebra, abo na siyang ga-attach sa lung. Not the lungs, but on the ribs. Lumbar vertebra, dire ni siya sa aton nga, kung sa ano pa, sa stomach or sa push-on na part. So dapit ang lumbar vertebra. And then ang iban is the sacrum or the sacral vertebra and the coccygeal vertebra or the caudal vertebra. Take note, ang sacrum aran dapit ga-compose man na siya sa pelvis, and then the coccygeal vertebra serves as the bones of the tail. So ma-appreciate lang sa inyong module. So let's proceed sa comparative anatomy. So take note, different animals have different number of vertebra. So as you can see, in the mammalian species, there are fixed number of cervical vertebra, that is 7. Aside sa chicken, of course, chicken is not a mammal man. So muna siya lain ng cervical vertebra, that is 14. And then the thoracic, as you can see, horse have the numerous thoracic vertebra or the numerous bones comprising the thoracic vertebra, followed by the pig, 14 to 15. So, guys, assignment yun siya. Kung may maka-answer, maka-PM sa ako, it will serve as bonus. So, nga may 14, nga may 15 nga bones sa thoracic vertebra. So, anong reason behind that? Okay? So, kung ma-answer nyo that would be another points. And then, sa chicken, 7, and sa human, 12 lang. Sa lumbar vertebra, as you can see, it comprises of 6 to 7, depending sa species, whereas sa human is 5. Whereas sa chicken, fused ang lumbar and sacral vertebra, which comprises the lumbosacral. And then sa dere, sa mammalian species, dog has the least number of sacral vertebra, 3 lang. And then sa caudal vertebra, by range ni siya, actually. Wala may fix. For example, sa dog, actually 20 to 22 dire, pero may isa ta ka-reference nga magambal gani nga 6 to 23. Okay, siyempre naman may mga dogs man nga pungkol or wala ikog or gagmay ikog. So amo na gabari. Okay? Next. So, ano siya? Okay. Comparison of the thoracic and the pelvic limbs. So, rin na tagal isang appendicular skeleton. So, take note, the appendicular skeleton comprises of the thoracic limb and the pelvic limb. So, it pertains sa hands and sa feet. So, amo na siya ang parts of the limb. The thoracic shoulder girdle, so composed of scapula, clavicle, coracoid, brachium or the arm, so comprised of humerus, antebrachium or the forearm, and then the carpus, metacarpus. So amo na siya ang comprise. So as sa pelvic limb, so ara sa pelvic girdle, just like I said kagina, pelvic girdle or pelvis comprises of sacrum, pelvis, ilium, ischium, and pubis. So the thigh, femur, take note, the femur is located in the thigh, tibia fibula in the true leg or the cross, and so on. So basahan na lang ni siya. Kay aram na siya sa aton module, and then you can appreciate this, especially when this, bisan sa time mag-yaw-yaw ko sila. Okay? Okay, this is an appendicular skeleton. So amo ni siya. Comprises the forelimb and the hind limb. So this is the forelimb and the horse, the ox, and the pig. And wait lang. Okay, the hind limb of the horse, ox, or the cattle, and the pig. So amo na siya ang comprise of appendicular skeleton. So okay, appreciation sa pelvis. So it is composed of 3 bones: the ilium, the largest one, the ischium, and the pubis. So, ano na siya. Okay. If you have any questions, you can comment that sa aton nga channel or you can PM me. So, take note ha, may bonus ta sa amuning lecture. So, be guided na lang din. So, if you have any, that's it. Thank you, gid sa pagpamati. God bless.